Hello, welcome to Just Prime, and as part of this video we are going to understand another loop in Java, for loop, and the syntax of the for loop, how to use it, and we are going to see the difference between the for loop and the previously discussed loop like while and do while loop. So these are the points we are going to discuss as part of this video, and let's jump into the coding part. So as part of the example, we are going to see the syntax and usage of this for loop. Okay, so I just to make it simple, I have already created a simple Java class follow demo. It's having a main default main method. So inside that we are going to see the for loop syntax usage and example. So basically the for loop is having three blocks. So this is the keyword we are going to use for loop. So the for is a keyword, and inside that we are going to see the boolean expression initialization, update or increment, and this is the block of statements where we are going to write the block of statement what we supposed to execute. So I'm going to execute, so this statement, sorry, so basically I have to execute this statement a certain number of times, right? So basically the for loop mainly useful in case if you know the number of times or how many number of times you have to execute a block of statements. In this time you can go for a for loop. So for loop is mainly useful for to execute a number of statements a certain number of times, right? So how to give that inputs like certain number I just said, right? Like how many number we have to, how many number of times we have to execute it, so that we are going to give as part of this for loop. So this basically this for loop is having three blocks. If you see here, right, so we have first block, middle block and last block, right? So these are the three blocks which we have in for loop, right? This will be useful to make this for loop a certain number of times to make it ready. Okay, so the first block is called initialization block, and the second block is called a boolean expression block, and third block is called update or increment value. So first we will see what is this. Before discussing this block, now I don't want to give any boundary conditions, I just want to execute it as it is. What will happen, just give a try. If you see this one, right, so now the for loop is keep running, it's keep executing, but it's not stopping it, right? But we don't want this kind of looping mechanism, so we have to make this statement execution is a finite number of times. We don't want to execute infinite number of times. So to make it finite number of times, what we have to do, we have to define from where we have to start this for loop and where we have to end it, and how to increment or decrement each step to make certain number of times, right? So let me give a default variable called x equal to 0. So I have declared a variable x equal to 0, it's supposed to start, and I'm going to print the number as well here, x. Okay, so now this particular instructions should execute in 10 number of times. Okay, so that's my condition, right? So now we have initialization, we have a boolean expression. Now let me run it, let me what happened. So if you see again, it is starting and it's executing the same infinite number of times, and if you see the x value, it is same, so it's there is no change. Because of that, this condition is becoming a true always, and is keep executing this block of statements. So what we have to do, we have to change the x value, so that way we can make this condition false at certain a number of times, after certain number of times, right? So that's what I'm going to do here, x plus plus. So now stop this loop and make again. Yes, now if you see here, right, so this for loop is executing exactly 10 number of times, started at 0 and ended at 9. So now the for loop make finite number of times, it's not infinite number of times. So this is the way we can use this block, initialization, boolean expression, and to make this boolean expression false at certain amount of time or certain interval time. So we are going to increment this value or decrement this value based on our initialization value. And We have another block, right? We have not discussed here. If you see this for loop syntax, so generally you no need to, you can keep here this increment here, but we have a dedicated block for this kind of increments, right? So this is the place where you can keep these kind of increments. Now let me run again one more time. Let's see the difference in the output. So if we see the output, we can get the, we got the similar kind of output what we got in the previous run, right? So basically how this will work: first initialization will execute, then it will look for the boolean expression whether it's true or false. If it is true, then it will execute the block of statements, then again it will come here and it will increment the value, then it will check the boolean expression, then it will execute the block of statements, then it will go for the increment or increment or decrement, then it will look for the condition. So that way all these three blocks will be executed, and the initialization block will execute only one time, first time, and the next blocks will keep incrementing and keep checking the boolean condition. So this is the way these three blocks or these three conditions will be keep executing, and so we can able to make this uh, instructions execution a finite number of times. So basically this is the way we can use the for loop, and the for loop is mainly useful for if you know the how many number of times you have to execute the instructions, then you can go for the for loop. And if you don't know how many number of times you have to execute the instructions, then you can go for while loop or do while loop. But again, while and do while loop, the basic difference we have already discussed in the previous videos. Yep, that's all about follow up syntax and usage. I hope you might have enjoyed this video, and if you like the video, you can click the like button and subscribe the channel for more subsequent updates. Thank you.